You are evil. Everybody's running back. Shame on you. Instead of your program, like, oh, somebody buy us Onyeka Nelly, one that poisoned your liar.
If we go into a competition again, if I go into another competition with most people here, it's not pride. I will win some of you again.
Hey! You cannot sit there and call another person bitter and start saying, oh, she did this, she did that, I ganged up against you, when you were the nasty person and you said the most horrible things about me. As a person, I'm going to tell you, Onyeka, you're a very horrible person. And I'm going to my full chest.
Chai! Lord have mercy. Hey! Hey, God. Onyeka. Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to reiterate so that those at the back will hear me loud and clear. Onyeka is a pathological liar. Onyeka is, how do I put it now? Onyeka is voluntarily delusional. Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it. Onyeka is deliberately, maybe consciously or unconsciously, but I think she is voluntarily delusional. You know when someone knows that, okay, this is not white, this is black, but I choose to believe and defend it on my life that it is this color. That is who Onyeka is. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the lies. The lies tonight from that girl. Hey, God, see, Onyeka's lies can take someone's life, literally and metaphorically. Onyeka's lies, they carry so much weight. They carry so much weight. And let me add that she's very manipulative. That girl, very, very manipulative. You know these people that you have caught them red-handed, but they do a lot of gesticulations, they make a lot of noise, you know, just to cover the fact that they have been caught in their own lies. That is who Onyeka is. And the saddest part is how she convinces herself to believe her lies. And then she sells those lies with the hopes that the people she's selling those lies to will believe those lies. Why? Because she herself believed those lies. That is who Onyeka is. And it's really sad because you see, I like what Ebuka said at the end of the day 4 of the reunion show, right? That he's a huge respecter of players, people that come onto the show and play their game, guys. Likewise, me, Bbnaija, and I say this time and time again, every season of the Big Brother show, that left to me, I need people that are audacious, people that are very, very, you know, very, very intentional about their game. And to top it all up, whatever you do in the house, you must be able to defend it on the outside. And so, even though in this community, I personally declared Onyeka as one of the best players of the No Lose Guard season, it is a shameful thing to see that this particular player has no balls. This particular player is a coward. Because you played such a fantastic game, even though it was quite toxic, even though it was quite provocative, right? You played such a fantastic game. It took you all the way to the finals. Why can't you defend yourself on the outside? Why? Coming onto the reunion to tell so much lies? And then you have the audacity. You have the audacity to be giving a long speech about, I did not drag people for playing their game. Because when I signed the Big Brother contract, I did not see where they said come and sing Kumbaya. I'm like, Onyeka, how dare you? How dare you? Sitting there with all of your self-righteousness, thinking that, oh, you played a fantastic game and so nobody should come and hold you accountable. But you are right there in the reunion, poking, in fact, right from inside the house, poking people for their game, and then in the reunion, also judging people. Like, really? So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, tonight's episode of the reunion show was quite intense. Yeah, it was quite intense. I have got a headache because there's just a lot of things happening and my blood is hot right now. Yeah, so we're just going to get right into this video. I'm going to spill. If you missed out on the day 4 of the reunion show, don't worry, I've got you covered. I'm going to be spilling the tea, every single last drop of that tea on this video. So please watch to the end. Don't skip out on any part so that you do not miss out on anything. And before we get into it, hi, especially welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bbnaija. This is Frankly Speaking with Bbnaija, and I am the girl with the tea. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. Now, the day 4 of the reunion show started off with the relationship between Ben and TJ. Ladies and gentlemen, just as I expected, according to Ben, they no longer communicate. Yeah, things have gone south. And you see, yeah, I wasn't particularly surprised because I saw it coming. And sadly for me, if there's one relationship or friendship that really pained me the way it panned out during the No Lose Guard season, it was a friendship between Ben and TJ. Oh my goodness. The way TJ betrayed Ben at every given opportunity, it was really sad. TJ, you know what they call a social climber? TJ portrayed himself to be a very disgusting social climber in the Big Brother house. And everybody knew the people he was social climbing to get up to. And those were the Bbnaija twins. A friendship of 4 years. Broken off just like that. Why? Because TJ, a thriving medical doctor, okay, let me not say thriving because I don't know, right? Based in the UK, by the insistence or the conviction of his friend Ben, came back to Nigeria to participate in the Big Brother show, hoping to have his big breakthrough. And guys, there was also the controversy of his wife being heavily pregnant, ready to pop. Let's not forget, that was also another controversy, right? He left his wife, left his family, came down to Nigeria to participate on the show. And then, even though he had a good game going on, he went back into his shell. Why? Oh, because he had to be kissing the ass of the Bbnaija twins. Yep. And then right there on live TV, whilst his friend was still in the house with him, TJ had the audacity to declare, I think during his diary session, that he was going to make the Bbnaija twins the godfathers of his twin kids that had just been delivered. Because yeah, we saw all that, the announcement that was made in the house. It was such a shameful thing to see. A grown man, married man with a full-blown wife and, you know, a whole family coming on to a Big Brother show to show how social climbing works, to show how the art of bootlicking, the art of ass kissing on live TV. It was such a shameful thing to see. A thriving medical doctor, for that matter. I mean, TJ just came to that house to disgrace himself, and it was just so shameful to see him, you know, portray himself in that light for someone that was that intelligent, thereby destroying a friendship of 4 years with Ben. And those were some of the things that Ben had actually explained during the reunion show, you know, that the way things panned out inside the house when they came out, they stopped talking. He had seen some of their conversations and, you know, it was really hurt. That the part that really shocked him was TJ declaring to Big Brother during his diary session that he was going to name them the godfathers of his kids, you know, without even consulting his wife. You haven't even seen your wife. You haven't even seen your twin babies. You've already started making such declarations. And, you know, at every given point in time, the way TJ would defend the Bbnaija twins in the house when they were doing XYZ, it was just so glaring for all to see that this guy was just basically being a sycophant. The typical Nigerian, you know, ass kisser, social climber. It was so annoying to watch. Yeah, it was so annoying to watch. And quite frankly, I wish Ben all the very best because TJ did not deserve him. That guy actually deserves better because Ben proved himself to be a great friend to TJ, and nobody deserved the way TJ, treated him and handled their friendship. Anyways, go ahead. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about that. All right. Now, moving on, Ebuka moved on to Kassia. This time around, he was referring to the conversation, that had come from Shaun, stating that Kellyrae did not deserve the win. Ladies and gentlemen, Kassia made me proud tonight. Yeah. Kassia made me proud tonight because, you see, yesterday's reunion episode, the way Ebuka was drilling her, and she had things to say. She was in her right to say things, but there's something about Kassia. Sometimes it's like she's afraid of hurting the feelings of the other person, so she tries to hold back her words. It gets me really upset with her. But on this particular episode of the reunion show, ladies and gentlemen, there was no holding back for Kassia. And it made me realize that Kassia would not willingly defend herself. But if you come for her husband, Kellyrae, she will skin you alive. Because that was what Kassia was doing. She was defending Kellyrae's win. She was defending Kellyrae's honor. And I was so proud of her because I'm like, girl, at least open your mouth and talk. Because in this part of the world, people deem silence as admittance of guilt. So girl, defend your man. That was exactly what Kassia did because automatically she said, of course, she saw those clips or whatever Shaun had said, but then she had fired the question back at Shaun. Let me read out to you the exact way she had put it. Now, she had asked Shaun what he meant by, they did not do enough in the house to deserve the win. That is, Kellyrae did not do enough, because according to what she saw in the house, all Shaun was doing was kissing. And ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I screamed, I scrammed, I scroamed, and then I found myself giving Kassia a standing ovation because that was facts on facts. Shaun was kissing a lot. Now, let's not get it twisted, all right? We saw a part of the house from TV. These housemates saw themselves live and direct in the house, and maybe not entirely at the same time, but at least let's call it 50-50, right? Now, what do I mean by this? For Kassia to say that what she saw was Shaun kissing all the time, baby girls, baby boys, it is facts on facts because we saw the same. Now, Shaun was actually playing the game, right? We also named him one of the best players of the season, right? But Shaun was also very busy kissing, smooching and doing whatever he was doing in that thing he called a relationship with Wani, and it was annoying sometimes. There were times when it seemed like the cameras was actually trying to shove it down our throats, but then it kind of stopped. And ladies and gentlemen, Kassia did not lie. Shaun was very, very laid back, very, very laxed in the house. He was overly comfortable because he had two nannies, two mommies, the twin sisters, Wani and Handy, who were babying him, pampering him, doing his laundry. They were his chef. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, they were doing everything for him. And it was also kind of funny, looking at the way Shaun was trying to respond to Kassia, and I was like, at least I was kissing, at least people were watching us. I said what I said, based on what I saw in the house. I said, okay, well done. But then there was another question from Kassia. Ladies and gentlemen, let me see. Now, I loved this part completely because Kassia had said that, okay, of all the seasons of Big Brother that you've watched, are you going to sit down here now and tell me that all the winners were entertaining? Which was a very valid question, ladies and gentlemen, because not every winner of every Big Brother season was actually entertaining in the definition of most viewers. Some viewers defined entertainment as winners who fought the most, winners who shouted the most, or winners who were pathological liars like ONYEKA. Yeah. But then each season had a different version of a winner that understood the assignment of their season and played their game according to the theme of the season. Yeah, so Kassia's question was very valid. And it was funny to see how Shaun could not really defend it because Kassia said to him that, dude, in the house, you were acting as if you were the most strategic. You were acting as if you knew the game the most. You were telling everybody, do this, do that, do that. But at the end of the day, did you win? Did you? Dude, did you win? You didn't. You did not. The money was actually far from you because there were a lot of contenders. And you were all the way behind those contenders. And by contenders, I mean the people that were the finalists. Anyways, let's move on. Ebuka had turned to Kellyrae, to answer for himself because Kassia had done a lot of defending at this point, right? So Ebuka had asked Kellyrae about a tweet response to what Shaun had said, because when Shaun had tweeted, because Shaun was on a roll after the show, he was tweeting all those things like he was actually vexed that Kellyrae had won the money, right? So, of course, Kellyrae had tweeted because trolls were actually coming at him. So Ebuka had questioned Kellyrae about his tweet, and Kellyrae had said that someone had actually told him that there was a gossip where about 4 housemates they'd gathered together and they had said this exact thing, that, oh, what did he do to deserve the money? That he did not deserve the money, didn't do anything in the house. And for him, he did not ask any questions because it wasn't his business. He had won the show, he had won the money, and that was that. Anybody that was paid, that was their business. So Ebuka was asking him who were those people. Ebuka wanted him to name names, and he said, yeah, that the person had said that, oh, Shaun said it, and he knew that Shaun had said it because he had heard it before as well, even before the person told him, but he didn't want to name names. So he said, in fact, he couldn't even name names because, to be honest, he did not even ask questions to know, okay, who were those people, but he knew that Shaun had said it because he had heard it from Shaun before, and so he wasn't really bothered. Now, at this point, whilst Kellyrae was trying to answer Ebuka's question, OC kept on interrupting because Kellyrae had said, oh, Bbnaija twins were even there. Now, I wasn't sure if he was referring to, the 4 persons that had actually had that gossip, but he had said, oh, Bbnaija twins were even there, but I didn't ask questions. So OC was trying to shut him up. That nonsense OC normally used to do, because the show is over now. The thing that OC used to do in the house when someone is trying to explain themselves sometimes and he's trying to impose his authority on that person, OC was doing the exact same thing and was really annoying to see. Because in my head, I'm thinking, dude, I'm sorry, but are you paying all those housemates house rent? I mean, you did the Godfather inside the house. You come outside again, you want to come and do Godfather. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that Ben had actually washed the Bbnaija twins when it was, when Ebuka was asking questions. He had called them the Godfather. He had said that TJ was kissing their ass, and guys, that was on point. Now, back to Kellyrae. Kellyrae kept on telling OC, let me talk now, let me explain. But OC was trying to shut him up. And guys, to be honest, it was just very disgusting. And I'm like, dude, please sit this one out. And by the ways, I hope Ebuka is going to question those twins because I've not seen proper questioning yet. But anyways, we're going to get there. Just as OC was trying to shut up Kellyrae, continuously interjecting the guy whilst he was trying to explain himself, Kassia was getting really irritated. And she was like, let him talk. Let him talk. I'm like, hey, God, though. Like, Kassia was not having it at all. Because, guys, even me, I could relate. Because I'm like, dude, the show is over. This is outside the house. Sit this one out. Let Kellyrae speak. And you see, Kellyrae did not disappoint. Because as he was talking, you could see the facial expressions, the body language of some of the housemates were looking as if they hated this guy's guts. And then, boom, Kellyrae dropped a bomb. He said, listen, a lot of you here saying that I did not deserve that. If they put on this show again, if they put us in the competition again, I will still win all of you again. Because I do not remember the show being a game of emotions. And he said it. He said a lot of you went into that house. You were not playing with your brains. You were playing with emotions. I went in there and I played with my brains. And there was something Kellyrae said. He said a lot of you said that, oh, I was going to the house to go and sing. But all of a sudden, people started copying me. When you want to do task, you will sing. He said, you, Kelly, Nelly, did you not start singing? Guys, see, when Kellyrae said all those things, see, I was giving this guy a standing ovation because I'm like, preach it, brother, preach it. Because these people, they need to be told the truth. Because that is it. You're not going to Big Brother's house and go and use your emotions. You need to use your brain. You need to use your brain 100% of the time. You need to be smart about it. And this guy was smart, really smart, because Shaun was trying to belittle their win, their efforts, the game they played, talking about, oh, I don't know why he won, maybe because they were a couple, I don't know what Nigerians saw in them. I'm like, dude, don't forget that this guy has carried the money. That's the most important thing right now. He has carried the money and his wife is also enjoying part of that money. So dude, rest your case because you have none. Nelly was quite triggered about what Kellyrae had said, and she and Kassia, they had gone into a spray of insult. You know, they were insulting each other. Nelly was telling her, shut up, I'm talking, don't talk. Kassia too was firing her back. I say, hi, Kassia, the energy that you have to defend your man, but not yourself, this girl. But then, Nelly explained that whilst they were in the house, she liked Kellyrae. They had a good relationship, but she did not have a good relationship with Kassia because Kassia had told her something that ONYEKA said and it was a lie. And Kassia said, no, I told you two things. I told you that the first one was what ONYEKA said directly, and the second one was my instinct, what I deduced from what she said. I did not lie about the second thing. I told you that this is what she said and this is how I interpreted it. This is what I deduced. But Nelly already, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that Nelly and ONYEKA, they have struck up a friendship later on inside the house. And this is what I said about most of the friendships this season, right? Most of the friendships that happen in the house, especially between the females, it was quite beneficial for them, especially when they have a mutual enemy. And for ONYEKA, anybody that hates Kassia or Victoria, they were automatically her friend. Yes. And Nelly joined that bandwagon. Yeah. So, you know, the back and forth between Nelly and Kassia. But then Nelly was explaining that, oh, after the house, immediately after their media rounds, she and Kellyrae, they stopped talking and it was all because of his wife. That is Kassia. And Kassia said, I don't understand, what do you mean? What makes you think I'm the one that would tell Kellyrae, don't talk to this one, don't talk to that one? But Nelly was insisting that it was because of Kassia. It was because of Kassia. And ONYEKA too joined in and said, hey, Kassia, you're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. Calling Kassia a liar. Kassia said, look at this one. You that you're a chronic liar. Everything in the house, you were lying about everything. You're coming here to come and point fingers that I am a liar. But you said XYZ. And guys, it was just going on and on, back and forth, back and forth. ONYEKA was maintaining that Kassia was a liar, liar, liar. Nelly too was joining ONYEKA to say, oh, Kassia was a liar. And then Nelly said that Kassia is bitter. Kassia looks bitter. Hey, God. And you see, yeah, I'm going to be frank with all of you. You see that word, bitter. It's a word that fans of ONYEKA on the X app have always used to describe Kassia. So when Nelly used that word, I knew where it was coming from. And I was just laughing. I was just laughing because in my head, I'm thinking, Nelly, whilst you were in the house, a lot of things happened. You could not really stand up for yourself because we're trying to keep it, you know, prim and proper. Now you're outside and you are borrowing words, you're borrowing language that you cannot even defend. Now, ONYEKA's upset with Kellyrae is that, oh, Kellyrae wanted to announce his brand endorsement, and then he now put out a tweet that claimed that she does not take a bath, like she did not take a bath for 2 weeks in the house. Now, Kellyrae was trying to explain that I did not even mention your name. I did not even say you do not take your bath. Now, Kellyrae was trying to explain that, listen, that fans have been trolling him. He doesn't even know whose housemates fans those people were, but they were trolling him. And he decided to catch cruise with them as well by telling them that, oh, you don't know you're insulting the winner. And the winner, I think the person now tweeted back at him like, oh, who are you now referring to? Are you talking about the person that does not take a bath in the house, that did not shower for 2 weeks, something like that? Guys, the whole thing is just chaotic. So ONYEKA decided to blow it all up and everywhere was chaotic. Now, the blowout between ONYEKA and Kassia and a bit of Kellyrae was quite intense, right? But before we get into it, let's talk about the things Victoria had said about ONYEKA. Now, whilst Nelly and Onyeka were calling Kassia a liar, that she's bitter, Victoria was quite irritated and she was not having it. And so she had turned to Onyeka and said to Onyeka, that girl, everybody sitting here right now, in the house and even outside the house, they can attest to the fact that I never said anything negative about you. Because yeah, I forgot to mention that during the back and forth between Onyeka and Kassia, Onyeka was insulting Victoria, saying that, oh, Kassia joined her friend, this one, that's referring to Victoria. Oh, Kassia joins Victoria to be fighting against her because of man. See, it was at that point in time, my head almost exploded because I'm thinking, Onyeka, you were the one that created a triangle. You were the one that was fighting Victoria and fighting Kassia as well because of Ozzy. So what do you mean that Kassia joined Victoria to be fighting you because of Ozzy? I don't understand. Did we watch the back of our TVs? Because guys, Onyeka's lies, he can choke. He can choke, yeah? So in Victoria's response, she has said to Onyeka, I never said anything about you. I never said anything bad about you. But you called me all manner of nasty names, unprintable names, without me offending you. And now you sit down here, you're pointing fingers at Kassia, calling her bitter, calling her names, calling her a liar, when everybody here knows that all of those things are you, yourself. And then the last blow she issued to Onyeka was, girl, you are a terrible person. See, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with all of you here. I felt like that was not enough to describe Onyeka coming from Victoria. I felt like there was a lot more that Victoria could have said. But Victoria decided to just keep it classy, yeah? But trust Onyeka to still be, you know, hurling fire and brimstone at Victoria whilst all of that was carrying on. But guys, Victoria said nothing but the absolute truth. Onyeka made Victoria her entire existence in the No Lose Guard mansion. She had a lot of nasty thing to say about Victoria at every given opportunity. It even got to a point that anytime she sat down with Ozzy to have a conversation, she would want to bring up Victoria. It got to a point that Ozzy got tired and started telling her, I don't want to hear, because it became too much. Now, this part really cracked me up. Onyeka was really offended, like she was really livid about Kellyrae's response to that fan, you know, about the housemaid that did not take their bath for 2 weeks. Like, guys, Onyeka owned it. She owned it, and the way she owned it, it looked like she was the one that was not having a bath in the house. And I loved the question that Kassia and Kellyrae kept on asking her. That girl, don't you bath? You know they bath. Are you the one? Because according to Kassia, Kellyrae did not put any name. This fan tweeted this thing asking Kellyrae to confirm it. And Kellyrae did not mention name. He said her. But for him, you do not teach me how to start a fight. Fans come attacking and then they throw this one and then he responded. So did he have to now decide to say, okay, him or her? What if he said he? What difference does it make? It was banter between him and the fan. Onyeka owned it. Whether the fans dragged her or not, guys, I don't care. But she owned it. And then she decided to victimize herself and say, hey, look at me. Then she stood up, look at me. I'm so soft, I'm so fragile. I look like I don't have my bath. I'm like, Onyeka, sit your ass down. Girl, sit your ass down. You know, these people that enjoy carrying problems, they like victim playing. Like, I'm the victim and the victim. Like, Onyeka enjoys being the victim so much. At this point, they should issue her a badge of honor. The victim of life itself. Because she carried it on her head. They were asking her, Onyeka, was it you? Onyeka, didn't you bath in the house? Onyeka, were you not having your bath in the house? And, you know, it was so embarrassing because she kept on making it, like she kept on giving the impression that indeed she did not have a bath in the house. That indeed she was smelling in the house. And then she was asking everybody, did I not bath? And everybody was just quiet looking at her because she looked so ridiculous as she was standing up and turning around. Look at me, look at me. I'm like, girl, sit your ass down. Sit down. You're embarrassing yourself. And it was so annoying to watch. And I loved what Kellyrae said. You cannot teach me how to respond to a fight when people start a fight with me. So if fans troll me using XYZ, and I respond. Why will you? Who are you to tell me how to respond? And ONYEKA was like, her anger is that Kellyrae even responded to the fan or even said whatever, that you should not have even said anything about any housemate. I'm like, and I love Kellyrae's response, because the dude was like, I don't understand. Look at you. You are talking. You are one to talk. You that you have said all sorts of the nastiest things about every single housemate, inside the house, outside the house. You're sitting down here and trying to tell me how to react. I'm like, girl, bye. Nah, no way. But anyways, at this point, Ebuka had asked for ONYEKA's response to what Victoria had said, you know, about her calling her all sorts of names and saying all manner of nasty things about her in the house. And ONYEKA had said the reason why she had called Victoria names was because she was acting like a snake. You know how she rabbles and goes around, and then finally she now explained that she had once asked Victoria if Victoria liked Ozzy. She kept on referring to Ozzy as her friend. And guys, it was so embarrassing. It was so shameful. Like, girl. Oh God, ONYEKA. My friend. This is how she was talking. My friend. My Ebuka even had to ask her, who is your friend? She said, Ozzy. So this girl is still doing this thing outside the house, eh? Inside the house, my friend. She and her sister, Mbadu twins up and down. Outside the house, they are still doing this nonsense. My friend. I'm thinking. Anyways, she said she had asked Victoria inside the house that this guy, do you like this guy? And Victoria had said no, that they are just cruising in the sense that they're just having conversations. Now ONYEKA said she now spoke to Shaun. Shaun said it was supposed to be a triangle or something. So she was very upset that why was Victoria lying that she was not a part of the triangle, that Victoria was playing the game, but she was acting like she was not playing a triangle. I'm like, first of all, girl, ONYEKA, have you forgotten that you were the one that created the triangle? Like, you're the one that initiated it. You're the one that wanted it to happen. You're the one that kept on pestering Victoria about if she liked Ozzy or any other guy in the house, because it was so obvious that ONYEKA was desperate to be in a triangle. She so badly wanted a fine girl in the house to be with a guy so that she would go and be dragging the guy with the girl, and that was what she was doing with Victoria. Victoria did not want to be a part of it at some point, but at some point you could also tell that Victoria too was entertaining it. So ONYEKA said that, and I see my head almost exploded. I said, this girl's lies are giving me a migraine. It was giving me a migraine. But then Victoria took out time to explain herself. She explains that Shaun was the one that had actually initiated the idea. Guys, that conversation happened at some point. I saw that conversation. She said Shaun had told her that, look, I noticed that this guy is coming towards you. I need you to get into the triangle thing. I need you to play the game of that. She said she had told Shaun that she was not interested because she had her own situationship outside the house. So she was not interested in being in a triangle. And she had told Shaun, and she kept on asking Shaun right there in the reunion, Shaun, correct me if I'm wrong. Shaun was saying, yes, she was saying the truth. But ONYEKA was still right there, arguing on her life that it was a lie. But anyways, Victoria explained everything clearly, crystal clear. But ONYEKA was still fighting her own demons. That is a lie. Like, she was trying to convince herself that she was the one that was right. In other words, from everything ONYEKA explained, she had no particular reason whatsoever to have lied against Victoria, to have said all of those nasty things that she had said and done to Victoria in the house. She just needed a reason, and so she cooked up that lie. And I love the fact that Victoria reminded her that, girl, that conversation I had with Shaun, it even happened way after you had even created a triangle with Ozzy. I wasn't even like, she cleared that straight up. But ONYEKA was still fighting her demons. Now, Ebuka then turned to ONYEKA and asked her, that girl, it's very obvious that the game you played in the house, it's affected everybody here. The things you did affected everybody here. How do you respond to that? Now, Victoria said, ONYEKA said that she had apologized to them after the show and told them that, oh, it was all a game, that when she was signing the Big Brother contract, she did not remember seeing anywhere that, oh, they should come to the house to do kumbaya, so she did not judge anybody's game, so nobody has any right to judge her own game. And you see, hey God, this girl, I'm like, Onyeka, you did not judge anybody's game. You were busy judging people's game in that house. What you've been doing to Victoria, you were judging her all the damn time. You were, Onyeka, you were the chief judge. You were judging people. You were and doing that inside the house, fine. We can still classify that as part of the game. But even after the show, you were still judging people for the game that they played. What do we call this? Hypocrisy. Yeah. Onyeka just really sounded like a hypocrite at that point in time. Talking about, I did not judge people, so people should not judge me. Girl, you were judging everybody. You were judging to everybody. And you see, this part really pissed me off because it felt like anything Onyeka says, Ebuka would just listen to it and in his brain, it is yes. In his brain, it is yes. Because he now turns to all of the housemates and said, oh, he's a respecter of people who play games, that's players. And so if anybody is upset that Onyeka did XYZ or this one did XYZ in the Big Brother house, then they're not supposed to be here. I'm like, Ebuka, you are actually right. But then my problem with you, brother Ebuka, is that when it comes to other people, you're very, very good at drilling them with questions. You interrogate them as if you're in the court of law. But when it comes to Onyeka, you have a very sneaky way of giving her a pass and making it look like everything she did in the house was sort of harmless. You make it look like, well, she was just playing a game. But Ebuka, everybody too was playing a game. So can you also give everybody a pass and allow everybody to be themselves without making it seem like they killed somebody before coming to the reunion show? Because at this point, I'm fed up. I am, for real. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, all of that said, I was quite disappointed that in that whole triangle talk, Ebuka did not interrogate the main spearheader of the triangle. And that person is Ozzy himself. Ozzy just sat there. He was laughing. And so Onyeka kept on referring to him as my friend, my friend. That one was just there, sipping his drink. Whilst Onyeka was there disgracing herself, Ozzy was there sipping his drink. And you made me wonder, Ebuka, why didn't you drag Ozzy into this conversation? Because Ozzy was not innocent. Ozzy joined in the chase. Today, he will go to Victoria. Tomorrow, he will go to Onyeka. Today, he will go to Victoria. When he's talking to Victoria, Onyeka will be lingering around, trying to eavesdrop on their conversation. And then when he notices, after, he will now go to Onyeka again. Ozzy was playing the game. Ozzy was enjoying the game. Ozzy was enjoying how Onyeka was chasing him in the house. And Ozzy also chased Onyeka too at some point. So why wasn't Ebuka drilling Ozzy? That is my question. And I'm going to end this video right here because I am hoping that in the next episode of the reunion show, that we actually hear Ozzy's own part in all of this. Yeah. You see how that whole thing about him having a relationship on the outside and then that whole talk he had with Onyeka and then Victoria, there is a lot to it and we need details. So we hope that Ebuka did not fail. Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case here at this point. I would love to hear from all of you. So please go ahead, share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Bbnaija. Thanks for watching and enjoy your day. Bye.